Hi, and welcome to Solidaires, a production of Société Jazz de Saint-Henri with the support of the Conseil des Arts de Montréal and in collaboration with Studio Le Bureau. Solidaires is a series of short solo concerts from some of Montreal's very finest jazz musicians, with an emphasis on the younger jazz musicians. I'm Katie Malloch, and I'm proud to be your host for this series. This time, we're going to be listening to the piano work of Marie Fatima Rudolf, who grew up in Toronto but has made Montreal her home for a while now and is really making her mark on the scene. Solidaires is working to further the aims of DESTA Black Youth Network, and we're asking for your support in that. DESTA Black Youth Network is an organization that works to further the employability of young Black people in the Little Burgundy section of Montreal. If you're watching us on Facebook, you can click on the button below at any time to support us and donate to DESTA. And if you'd like more information, go to DESTABYN.org. Now let's get started with the music. Here's Marie Fatima Rudolf with Dizzy's Con Alma. Marie Fatima Rudolf with Dizzy Gillespie's Con Alma. Thank you for what you did with the tempo and the forward impetus of that tune. That was really nice.
Thank you.
Now, I know that growing up in Toronto, both your parents were musicians, both of them jazz musicians. Am I right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes.
So how... I always feel weird talking to children of musicians who become musicians. How inevitable was it that you were going to end up doing music too?
That's a great question. I have a brother who did not become a musician, so it wasn't I think we were encouraged. I was encouraged because they saw that I um, had a certain passion for it. Um, of course, growing up, we listened to a lot of music. All of the friends that we were involved with were musicians, and so it was like a heavy part of the way I grew up, for sure.
Okay. And obviously, very few kids begin studying jazz at age 4 or 5. You started with classical. When did you decide that jazz was the way you wanted to go?
Another good question. I think by the time I was 14, 15, I always wanted to be a classical pianist, performer. And I realized that by the age of 15, I wasn't on the international circuit and that it probably wasn't going to happen for me. And that maybe there were more opportunities in jazz to be, you know, to express myself and to find a certain creative route
Okay.
that didn't seem like it was going to be available in classical.
Okay. And was it always the piano for you?
Yes.
That
Yes,
you
absolutely.
you never considered another instrument?
I did in high school. I played a little bit of flute, but no, I never even thought about another instrument until much later.
Okay. I know that we're going to hear a couple of your own compositions later on during this set, but right now you've got a piece for us that is another, like Con Alma, a classic in the jazz repertoire. And I'm dying to hear it because it's one of my favorite. It's Autumn Leaves. Marie Fatima Rudolf with Autumn Leaves and I'm Getting Sentimental Over You. Those are two pieces of music that I never would have thought of interpolating. That was a very wise move, very beautiful. You studied, after you left Toronto, you came to Montreal to study. You studied with pianist Jeff Johnston. And then you went to the Purchase School just north of New York City to do your master's. I think you studied with Hal Galper, you studied with Kevin Hayes. Tell me about working with those musicians.
It was two of the best years of my life. It was really, really fun. It was really great to be immersed in music in a city. Well, it's a little bit north, as you said. It's a little north of the city. So we were on campus and playing a lot, but it's people that grew up in New York with that New York energy. And I was kind of in a group of students that were really focused on the history and the origins of jazz in the 40s and 50s. So it was a lot of intense listening sessions and playing sessions, and then we would go down into the city every weekend and listen to music. So it was fantastic. And then studying with people that have played with a lot of the guys that we listened to on recordings and everything. It was a really very enriching experience.
Did you get a chance to play down there to play in New York?
I went to a couple of the jam sessions and I did a few gigs, but that wasn't the focus when I was there.
Yeah. Okay, wonderful. Well, we're going to hear two pieces now that you've written yourself, and I'm very interested to hear the difference, or I'm listening for a difference in the way you approach the music when it's music you've written yourself. Marie Fatima Rudolf on Solo Solidaire. This is Back to the Way Things Were. pianist Marie Fatima Rudolf with two pieces of her own composition, Back to the Way Things Were, and we just heard Doucement, which sounded, it was almost a gospel spiritual, like a hymn. There was a very hymn-like feeling to that, a nice, serene progression. What are some of the other influences besides jazz on the music that you compose?
A lot of classical. At this time, I'm listening to a lot of, or I'm playing and listening to Scriabin preludes. So that's sort of those harmonic progressions and some of the ideas, I hope anyway, are seeping into my composing.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first piece had a lot of blues in it, too. Back to the Way Things Were. It had a bluesy feeling, but not a traditional blues.
Mm-hmm. I don't honestly listen to very much blues. I listen to a lot of jazz, and there's blues in jazz, so it's
Yes.
kind of an indirect influence. Yeah.
Yeah. The one person to whose composition I'd heard yours compared was Brad Mehldau. That kind of landscape feeling, a slightly, I don't know, pop influenced, but out there. Not, yeah.
It's funny. I don't listen. I mean, I have a little bit of phases of pop, but I wouldn't say that I'm like heavily influenced by pop. But there is a little bit of a poppy feel to some of the songs that I write. I don't know why.
Had composing been something you wanted to do for a long time?
No, in all transparency, it's something that I do mostly because I think it's part of our development as musicians, but it's also something that's on the scene right now, sort of an important element for booking purposes. That sounds really crass, but
good. No.
the way it is.
But it shows us another side of you too.
I really like playing standards. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have one of your favorite standards, I guess, to wind things up with. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. It's been a real honor to chat.
Marie Fatima Rudolf on Solo Solidaire, and this is You and the Night and the Music. Marie Fatima Rudolf with You and the Night and the Music. And that winds up this edition of Solo Solidaire. I'm Katie Malloch, your host, and you've been enjoying the music tonight of pianist and composer Marie Fatima Rudolf, now based, we're glad to say, in Montreal. We're working to raise money at Solo Solidaire for Desta Black Youth Network, and so we hope that before you leave tonight's edition, you'll consider donating to that organization by clicking on the button below if you're watching on Facebook. Desta Black Youth Network works to further the employment aims of young Black people in Little Burgundy here in Montreal, so we hope you'll give that good organization a boost. And if you'd like to find out more, go to destabyn.org. That's it for now. I'll see you next time on Solo Solidaire.
I'll be around, no matter how you treat me now. I'll be around from now on. Your latest love can never last, and when it's past, I'll be around when she's gone. Goodbye again. And if you find a love like mine, just now and then, drop a line to say you're feeling fine. And when things go wrong, perhaps you'll see